When I first thought about making this video, it was to inspire others to reach their goals in the game, but honestly, I think I need this pep talk more than you right now, because I'm losing my mind seeing nothing but white lights in the chambers. And yeah, yep, it's white. Why is it always white? Why? So let's talk about motivation and inspiration in our very beloved but very grindy game. RuneScape is filled with some pretty daunting grinds. You can spend hundreds of hours grinding out cash, training your skills, doing quests. Honestly, I can keep listing on, and it's pretty easy to get overwhelmed with all the things that you can do and you want to do, and all the time that it takes to go complete it. Thankfully, as someone who's had this account for almost a decade at this point, I have a few tips that have helped me out quite a bit to progress to the stage that I'm currently at. I hope you're ready, because we're going to jump right into it with the first tip, which is to take a break. It's a weird suggestion to give someone right off the bat, huh? But it's true. Take a break from whatever you're doing. If you're grinding gold like I am in the chambers, stop it. Do something else. Is skilling giving you carpal tunnel?
Stop it. Get some help.
You get the idea. And if you really need it, take a break from the game for a little bit. The saying goes that no one quits RuneScape. They just take extended breaks. I know I needed it in the past, but take some time to test to see how long you actually need to take that break. Start simple. If you need a break from gold grinding, a very new and very long Grandmaster quest just came out, and completing that may be the little boost you need to walk back into that raid lobby. Or sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Spend a day at a new monster, or skilling something else, or talking smack at the Grand Exchange. It really doesn't matter. As long as you're doing something, that's not the thing that's getting you down. And if all else fails, take some time, log out of the game, and just take a break. There's plenty of weeks that I just don't play RuneScape. Hell, there was a time that I took a full year off of this game. But every time I come back, new things are out, YouTube videos have been watched, and new goals and grinds have been set that rejuvenate my love for this game. Tip number 2 ties in a little bit with the last one, but remember to try new things, or even taking a step back and doing something that's a little bit lower level than what you can already do. Even if there's no good reason to do it, it's probably one of the most enjoyable things I've done in this game in a very long time. My series is all about trying new things and testing out bosses that I just never did in the past. We all know and love DKs, and I went there with some pretty high, if not maxed out gear, and there's really no reason for me to be there. But man, did I have a blast taking on these nostalgic monsters. Another great example is my list at God Wars. Sure, I had more fun at some bosses more than others, but for a full month, I spent my time doing something else, and I had a blast figuring it all out and learning new methods. Or maybe it's time to revisit an old grind that you've already done. I know the Whisper has been tempting me to come back ever since I did 1,000 kills there, and while I'm at it, more than likely I'm going to make a pretty penny. Coming back full circle to what I'm originally trying to avoid, which is sitting there and grinding out gold for a new item. Even if you don't feel like you have the gear to go do something, I will always give the suggestion to go out and try it. Half the fun in this game, at least for me, is doing ridiculously hard stuff and trying to get that completed. A little secret between you and me as well, nice gear doesn't always make new pieces of content easier to learn. It sounds a little contradictory, but man, I can tell you I have enough clips of me dying at the Chambers, the Inferno, the Whisper, Duke, Dora, everything to prove that point, even if I do have max gear. Sure, it helps out with DPS, killing the monster, and all that fun stuff, but learning to do a piece of content with the TiVo isn't exactly easy if I don't know the timing or positioning. But try something new to you, whether that content is 10 years old or 10 days old. It may not be pretty, it may not be efficient, but just completing something new is extremely fun and really addicting. I enjoyed the Guardians of the Rift now that I took the time and understand how this mess works. Doing solo Temporos is way more fun and enjoyable to me than doing Mass Worlds. It's more grindy, it's more tedious, but it's more fun to me, and that's all that matters. Even if it takes forever, and the XP isn't competitive or hitting the max rates that you can get with like tick fishing, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. I guess the main point here is just to do things that you enjoy. If you hate doing farming runs and you enjoy Tithe Farm, I may question you, but at least it sounds like a solid trade-off. If you hate Wintertot and you just want to burn logs of the GE, go for it. Thousands of other players do it as well. Just because you unlocked a faster and more efficient way of doing something in the game doesn't mean you have to go do it. A great example in my case is the Hollowed Sepulcher. I gave it a try for a few hours, realized I hated it, and I went back to the rooftops. Even though Sepulcher is a good amount of experience above the rooftop agility, if it doesn't work for me, I'm not going to do it. No one's timing you in how long you train your skills. I personally like day-old essence mining in ZMI runecrafting, which is drastically slower than buying pure essence and doing lava runecrafting. At the end of the day, I'm still playing the game, training my skills, and I'm having fun, which is all that matters. And I think I beat that point to the ground. So let's move on to the next tip, and it's a rather important one. Let's talk about long-term goals. It's something that's haunted me many times in the past, and it's currently hitting me pretty hard. My goal for my account series is to grind out 4 incredibly expensive items, and right now I'm working on the last one, which is the Elysian Spirit Shield. You know, it's a casual 730 mil item that I really don't think I'm going to use a whole lot outside of flexing it. But it's a long-term goal that I've set for myself, and it gives me motivation to do something in the game. I'm sure there's other long-term goals that you have as well, like getting an expensive item or getting a 99. Having long-term goals are very important, but it's equally as important, at least in my eyes, to have something smaller along the way that you can hit and take a break at. Let's say that you have a goal of getting a quest cape. It's a pretty large goal in the grand scheme of things. You need to get some gold to buy the items and supplies that you need, there's various amounts of teleports that are helpful, skills are also required, the list goes on and on. But quests of course unlock huge portions of content and a lot of grindable activities. The first ones that come to mind are like Zulrah from Regicide, Vorkath from Dragon Slayer 2, TOA from Beneath Cursed Sands, and I can keep listing on and on. On your way to completing the quest cape, take a break from the grind here and there, and check out the content that you've already unlocked. This logic can be applied to all sorts of areas of the game as well. If you're shooting for 99 attack, take a second and check out the new weapons that you locked on the way, and just play around with them. Try them out at all places, even if it sounds awful. Who cares? Some salamander kills required for combat achievements are actually pretty funny and sometimes fun to do, so the same could be said for another weapon at a different boss. Try out a new hunter activity in Voldemort instead of collecting your 10,000th Chimchampa, or instead of spending your entire cash stack on planks for construction, maybe work on grinding the logs out yourself. This list and ideas can go on forever, but the point is to have large goals in mind, but plan breaks in between or change how you want to accomplish that goal. Large goals can sometimes be the overwhelming factor keeping you from enjoying the game. It's easy to sit in a cycle of just wanting to do nothing but grind out XP or gold so you can get that new item or new achievement when there's thousands of other things you can do in the game. In the end, you'll eventually come back to that grind with that goal in mind, but you'll have more energy to get it done. More energy than you would have if you just sat there and just kept hacking away. The last tip that I have to keep inspiration going is to change a rather common mindset that I find myself stuck in every once in a while. I guess an argument could be said that's what I've been doing this entire video with all the other tips and ideas, but this is something I touched on in a previous video, and I like to call it the gold mindset. The thought goes that if I'm focusing on getting XP, why not just go get money to get the XP as fast as possible? If you need a new weapon, make sure to grind out the most efficient moneymaker that you have access to so you can get the gold and the item as fast as you want it. It's a mindset that I catch myself stuck in from time to time. While it can be very useful to have that mindset since you're being super efficient, at least for me, it drains all the fun out of the game after a while. So if you have a goal in mind, like I do with a super expensive item, maybe you can put gold second in your list of priorities when picking out an activity to grind out. I know I keep bringing up chambers in all of my videos, but the reason for it is I'm working towards reaching my goal and doing something that I enjoy. Sure, I could be doing 500 solo TOA runs, which pumps out way more gold per hour, but I don't enjoy it nearly as much as COX. Having fun is my main focus and getting gold is second. I have been in the position of doing nothing but Vorkath for hours on end to afford a new weapon, and those hours felt like days because all I did was that in the game. Instead, I suggest doing something that's a little less GP per hour, but more fun per hour. Or you can go and kill a boss that gives those items that you want. Debo is on my bucket list, so I learned how to do COX. Shadow was another item that I wanted to get, and I learned TOA. So for the shield, I could easily pump out a few hundred KC at the Corporal Beast when Chamber sounds exhausting. I know those are mega rare items, but the logic can still be the same for lower tier items as well. Do Barrows if you want a new set, or the Moons for one of theirs. Go learn Sarah for the crossbow or Armadillo for the armor. Money is still present there, since I'm at Sarah and I could get one of her other items like the hilt, and I'm definitely going to sell that bad boy and put the funds towards the crossbow, which is my main goal. Regardless of your account status and progress, gold is going to be incredibly useful for a variety of reasons, whether that's working towards a goal or buying your items back from death. You could also have the mindset of combining goals together. If you really want 99 rune crafting and the Armadillo crossbow, whenever you don't want to grind out a boss for straight cash, go make some runes and sell off that profit for your dream gear. You still work towards your goal of making money, but you can work on other goals at the same time. Gold is important, but playing the way that you want and having gold as a secondary item, at least to me, makes the game a whole lot more fun and keeps me logging in day after day. With that said and done, I think that's all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed or if my thoughts and ramble kind of helped you out, don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does mean the world to me. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day, good luck on your grind and your personal goals, and I hope to see you again very soon. Stay inspired.